Hey, welcome. My name is Mackenzie Long. I'm your Senior Marketing Director. Great to talk to you again. I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of field training. You're brand new. You've probably been going into your fast start appointment, or you're about to go into your fast start appointment, and you might be a little bit hesitant of getting into the field. And so I wanted to cover some areas, some things that I remember thinking when I was going through it, some hang-ups you might have, and really give you some support and some tools to be able to get through this as quick as possible, because your ability to get into field training is really going to set the precedence for the rest of your career. And so this is a very, very important topic for us to talk about. I had a mechanical engineering background. I didn't really know a lot about the financial industry. If you know anything about mechanical engineers, there's not a lot. We don't talk to a lot of people. We're kind of secluded. We don't necessarily feel like we have a lot of people in our circle. I was also I was taught the way we're brought up as engineers is that you have to know everything before you can do anything. And I'm the type of person that doesn't like to ask for help. I've always done everything on my own. It's very rare, like I'm dying on the street before I would ask anybody for help. So you might relate with some of these things. So as I started, I had some concerns, or I had some reservations. I wanted to maybe know more, so that way I feel like I could be more knowledgeable when I went to talk to people. And I felt like, well, I don't really know a whole lot of people, or what are they going to think about me if I try to talk to them about some of these things? I borrowed money from some of these people, or maybe they know that I haven't done well financially before, so how are they going to look at me with these things, especially if I'm not, I haven't had a lot of experience yet. And so these are some concerns that you might be having. What I found was, even though I had an engineer background, even though most people didn't see me in financial services, what happened was I was able to leverage the person that was training me. So I was able to bring the trust. These people trusted me, so they were willing to allow us to come into their house or get on Zoom or whatever it might be to have a conversation about what I do. And what the trainer brought was the credibility and all of the words and all of the experience that I didn't have yet. And so what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to start building clients. It allowed me to start building referral sources. It allowed me to have things ready to go by the time I was licensed. And I got licensed very quickly. I did it as fast as possible, and I highly recommend doing that. But I was also in the field at the same time. And what I found was the ability to get in the field also taught me a lot of what I was going to use on the test. So there were a lot of similarities. So the time that is spent in field training, I think that honestly should be priority number one, is getting into the field, start getting exposure, start setting up referral sources. So that way, by the time you're licensed, because it's going to take a few weeks, maybe a few months for it to really sink into their brain about what you're doing. So that way, by the time you're licensed, you have these referral sources coming in. You have these people going, man, what he said was true. That's right. Maybe I need to start doing something for my family. Maybe I need to start getting some of these things set up. And but that process takes a little while. So if you're doing that while you're studying, by the time you're licensed, you have all of these things set up and ready to go. There's another thing that's very, very important as well. We don't want to prejudge people. There were a lot of times where I thought there were people that would help me, and there were other people that I thought would never help me and would never be interested. And what I found was almost 100% of the time, it was the exact opposite of whatever I thought. So my recommendation for you is just to talk to everybody and do it in a way of, hey, I'm just excited. I'm in training. I could use your help. I value your opinion. And maybe if you see that this is kind of important for people, maybe you can send me some referrals in the future. And what you'll find is most people will be willing to help you if you do it that way. If you're willing to just ask them for help, say you're looking for referrals, and use it in that exact order. I'm excited, I'm in training, I could use your help, I value your opinion, and if you like what you see, maybe you can send me some referrals in the future. And so don't prejudge people. Talk to everybody, but do it with a trainer, because it adds the trust and the credibility at the same time. If you try to do it on your own, they're going to ask you questions. You're not going to know how to answer them. It's going to sound kind of foolish. And a lot of times they think that you're there just to sell them something. And if that trainer went without you, it wouldn't make any sense, because they wouldn't be able to get in the door and basically be a cold call. So that grouping together of the trust and the credibility is extremely important. And here's the bonus that you'll get on top of that. We have what's called the fast track. And what that is your first promotion is 3 recruits and 3 pieces of business in 30 days. And so what that means is when you hit that, you get almost a 50% increase on all of your production for the rest of your career. Now, that's kind of the turtle pace, right? That's kind of the slower pace. Most people, almost everybody I know has hit that. Now, if you want to do it at a fast pace, it's 10, 10, 30. And what that means is 10 recruits, 10 pieces of business in 30 days. And that's not just you, that's in the entire organization. And so what that does is that gives you a 100% increase in contract for the rest of your career. And so every piece of business that you do into the future is now at a higher contract. So you might miss out on a couple sales, pretty rare. Usually by the time if somebody's getting on it, they're getting licensed within a couple weeks. Usually right by the time that their license is in, they also have people who are ready to start doing business with them. The people that they've recruited, we do a lot of internal consumption, so those people are usually ready to start doing business. And now by the time you're licensed, you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who are also in licensing that are about to be licensed as soon as you're done. And so now you're going to be going out and helping them do their field training. They're not licensed yet. You're writing a bunch of additional sales for people while they're in their licensing process. So I challenge you to do it quickly. I challenge you to go as fast as you can in this area. You will learn so much more by getting in the field and getting that experience than you could ever learn from reading out of a book or studying for your exam or any of those things. Now, I'm not saying don't do both. Obviously, do both at the same time. Faster you can do that, the faster pace that you'll set for your career, because here's what happens. That becomes your story. That every new agent that you bring into your agency, that everybody that you field train, that everybody that you talk to, you can say, hey, I hit 10, 10, 30 in my first month. I hit 10, 10, 30 in my second month. And so what do you think that does? That sets a precedence for everybody that you recruit to do the same. And so when you set high standards for yourself and you're willing to go do those things very, very quickly, you'll find that the people that come into your business do the same thing. So if you wanted the ideal person to come into your agency, what would you want them to do? Wouldn't you want them to get into the field quickly? Wouldn't you want them to get licensed quickly? Wouldn't you want them to make a bunch of money quickly? So what I challenge you to do is you do that. You set that precedence for what the rest of your career is going to look like. And so my message to you today, the importance of field training, get out there, do it fast. You'll learn so much. And I promise you, it may feel like you're bugging people, but in most cases, there are so many people in your life that want to help you, that really care about you, that want to see you expand and grow in your life. And they'll send you a bunch of referrals if you're willing to ask them in a manner like that, that you're just looking for their help. I'm excited. I'm in training to use your help. I really value your opinion. I want your feedback. And if it makes sense to you, maybe you can send me some referrals. And if you do it in an environment like that and you do it with a field trainer, there's no way that you can fail. There's no way that there could be any hurt relationships or anything like that. So I challenge you to get into the field, do that quickly. And will you come across some people who have weird things to say about this? Absolutely, right? So I challenge you to get into the field quickly. The faster you can do that, the better off you're going to be. It's going to change the course of your career for the rest of your life. Love you. See you soon.